This is WFYI News Now. It's December 12th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, a new report that's part of an ongoing extensive study on Indy's highway system. A waitlist for 2 of the state's child care voucher programs. And we have a feature story on a local mother who thought buying a home through Habitat for Humanity would provide her kids stability and the chance to build generational wealth. But when she died, her children were thrust into a legal battle to keep that very home they had a right to.
And she was doing something that will be lasting for her kids, to where they will always remember, this is the home that my mom built for me.
Those stories coming up. But first, Indiana's class of 2029 will graduate with new high school diploma requirements after 3 drafts and thousands of public comments. The State Board of Education unanimously approved the final draft of requirements on Wednesday. Now high schools can phase in these rules next school year. From WFYI's Education Desk, Rachel Fredette has more.
A 2023 law tasked the State Board of Education to create new graduation requirements by the end of the year that embrace work-based learning. High schools can start students in the new curriculum during the 2025-2026 school year. The requirements begin with the class of 2029. Under the final draft, students will be encouraged to be flexible by aligning courses, credentials, and work-based learning with their chosen path. Here's Katie Jenner. She's the Secretary of Education.
The goal is that junior-senior year to really open it up, to make sure that student is seizing the opportunity to explore their unique interests, whether they want to be a journalist or an engineer or a teacher.
Students have 3 paths in the plan: focus on college, joining the workforce, or enlisting in the armed forces. I'm Rachel Fredette.
A new report is out as part of an ongoing extensive study on the highway system in Indianapolis. As WFYI's Jill Sheridan reports, the public is invited to weigh in once again.
Propel Indy is a 2-year planning project to identify improvements for sections of I-65 and I-70, including the South Split. The Indiana Department of Transportation heads the effort, and Strategic Communications Director Natalie Garrett says the new report presents 24 solutions.
14 of those will be moving forward. Of the ones moving forward, those include interchange improvements, added travel lanes, recessed roadway, signature bridges.
The Universe of Concepts report is a 2-part project, and the public is encouraged to provide input. To date, more than 1,400 comments have been submitted on the Propel Indy project. Federal and state dollars are funding the ongoing study that should wrap up later next year. I'm Jill Sheridan.
The state is re-implementing a waitlist for 2 of its child care voucher programs, the Child Care Development Fund and On My Way Pre-K. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Tamoria Cunningham reports this is the first time since 2018 new voucher applicants will be waitlisted.
The 2 programs are administered by the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration's Office of Early Childhood and Out-of-School Learning. FSSA says the waitlist is in response to a growth in both programs, citing an increase of more than 30,000 children who have participated over the last 2 years. Currently, the waitlist will only impact new applicants, with priority given to On My Way Pre-K applications, families who earn below 100% of the federal poverty line, and children of child care workers. Other applicants will receive vouchers while they are available. The vouchers for these programs assist families that are seeking employment or who are enrolled in an education or training program and who make less than 150% of the federal poverty line. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Tamoria Cunningham.
And for our final story today, Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit that helps low-income families purchase homes through interest-free mortgages. The goal is housing security and a chance to build generational wealth. But after one Indianapolis family lost their mother, Habitat moved to foreclose on their home, ignoring federal law. WFYI's Samantha Horton reports.
Nicole Webster's life changed when she got the keys to her home in 2010.
She cried and she was just so happy.
That's her sister Chantel Badgie. She says Nicole got the house through Habitat for Humanity's Indianapolis affiliate. The nonprofit offers home ownership to low-income people with interest-free mortgages after they complete educational courses and volunteer hours. Badgie says, like her, Nicole had struggled with homelessness.
And she was doing something that will be lasting for her kids to where they will always remember, this is the home that my mom built for me.
I'm standing here in front of the house on a 19th block of Cornell. It's an unassuming 2-story yellow house, but it meant everything to Nicole. It provided her with stability and a chance for her kids, Bryce and Bryn, to grow up and have future goals of their own. But that all changed last year. Nicole had several strokes and her health deteriorated. She passed away in December 2023. The kids paused their college plans as they coped with the loss of their mother. 20-year-old Bryce says they got jobs.
We had to do our own adulting, we had to pay the bills.
Those bills included the mortgage. It was still in their mother's name and had not been transferred to them. Bryce, Bryn, and their aunt reached out to Habitat to see what needed to be done to pass the home on to the children. Then, 18-year-old Bryn says they received a shocking piece of mail in April. Habitat had filed to foreclose on the home.
It's a court document saying, Habitat wants to take your house.
Habitat wanted the family to pay the rest of the mortgage balance, more than $64,000, up front in its entirety to keep the house. Bryce says he was confused because they had kept up with the mortgage payments even after their mom died.
We would pay it before it was even due.
In its case filing, Habitat used a specific clause in the mortgage. It's called the due on sale clause. It allows the lender to require payment of the loan's remaining balance if the property is sold or transferred. Bruce Jones is a lawyer with Indiana Legal Services. He says the clause is common in mortgages, but the law includes several exceptions. One of those exceptions would neatly fit the Webster family.
There is federal law, though, that says if the property transfers because of, among other things, death, transfers to heirs, then that mortgage does not, become due and payable at that time. The mortgage has to continue.
Jones says it appears to him that Habitat ignored the law.
Well, I was surprised to see someone like Habitat for Humanity taking the stance that they are. It seems, to be extremely settled law that there are all these, known exceptions to the due on sale clause.
WFYI reached out to Habitat for Humanity of Greater Indianapolis. A few days after WFYI's inquiry, the organization filed to dismiss the foreclosure case. In a statement, Habitat said the case was based on inaccurate and incomplete information from the organization's lawyer. Habitat for Humanity of Greater Indianapolis CEO Jim Morris says they were given the wrong advice.
That's why you hire attorneys, as we don't read all federal laws and state laws. It's not within our capacity, and that advice was wrong.
While the pending foreclosure case has been dismissed, Badgie says her family feels betrayed. They have been given the runaround for more than a year.
I'm still I need to have reassurance, if that makes sense, because why did it take so long? And are they really going to do what they're saying they're going to do now?
The Webster situation has put other Habitat homeowners on high alert. I'm Samantha Horton.
WFYI investigative reporter Dylan Pierce McCoy contributed to this story. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Daudelin, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.